digital disruptor. So Amazon disrupted the way retail has been done, right? As sports authorities or Borders Books or Payless, right? All these companies that we thought would be around forever are no longer here. Same thing with Spotify. Now Apple Music and playlists that you can just play through Bluetooth and not have to worry about ordering a bunch of CDs or buying CDs. And we can go on and on with Netflix did to Blockbuster and Airbnb is doing to the accommodations industry. Uber's done it to the transportation industry. And now we're doing it to the justice system. And because the average person has never been able to afford access to a lawyer at $300 an hour, only the wealthy of the wealthy have had access to that until now, because LegalShield's leveling the legal playing field for the first time in North America. We made it simpler, easier, and more affordable. And for $1 a day, now people have access to their rights. And so let's talk about our company, because I believe no one wants to be involved with something that's here today, gone tomorrow. People are tired of all the get rich quicks. They're over that, right? People are looking for something solid in the gig economy, or nowadays called the side hustle, something without a boss where you can dictate how much you want, how little you want, and that's completely up to you. That was attractive to me because I couldn't be mad at my boss at the mall because I was making $40,000 a year and I wanted to make more. I had to be mad at myself because I accepted that. And I knew that that's how much I was going to get paid. There wasn't even an opportunity for me to move up at that time. And so it was about me finding something where I could get paid what I felt my worth or my value was, and that there was an unlimited potential. So LegalShield's been around for over 40 years. So we're not a startup company. We're not wondering if this works. We've got a 40-year track record. We approximately protect 4.4 million lives across the United States and Canada. In fact, we just opened up in July 2019 in the UK, England and Wales to be exact. And we've been in all types of third-party sources like Bloomberg, CNBC, Yahoo Finance. That was important to me because in my 20s, when I first took a look at LegalShield and I decided I wanted to be a part of it, people were saying things like, how do I know it's real or legit? And y'all get it. I was in my 20s. They were like, you sold me Levi jeans a couple of years ago. But the one thing I had, the company was 27 years old at the time. One thing I had was the credibility of the company. Even though I didn't have a whole bunch of credibility in my 20s, the company did. So I could lean on the documentation versus my own conversation. And I believe that's the reason why we had so much success. Listen, this isn't set up for bad people to do worse things. We're saying bad things happen to good people all the time. Good people have signed contracts and later on wish they wouldn't have signed them. They say the bold print give it, but the fine print take it away, right? Good people have been overcharged for repairs, treated unfairly, taken advantage of. And so LegalShield has an app now where you can just tap a button, call your lawyer, and have equal access to the justice system without having to stress or guess what to do. And a lot of times things happen, right? And we complain to our coworkers, we complain to our family members, our significant others. You're not going to believe what happened. But we don't call to find out what our rights are. It's like when I had a situation with my truck. And the truck was new, but the dealership didn't do what I thought they should do. And I'm not saying all dealers are bad. I'm just saying if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. So I called LegalShield, just a press of a button. I didn't have to think about who I was going to call because the vetting has already been done. Our average lawyer has 22 years of experience. So when I pressed the button, they put me in touch with a lawyer that has experience in that area of law. They said, Mr. Self, based on where you bought the truck in Virginia, the make and model, which is a Cadillac Escalade, and the issue you're having, which is a steering issue, that was a mechanical issue, they said if they keep your truck for 3 more days with that make and model, with that issue, in that state, it falls under the lemon law. They have to give you a new truck that day. Look, I would have never known that and wouldn't have called a lawyer to find out. Here's my point. If you don't know your rights, you don't have any. Not only will they give you the advice, but they'll also write a letter or make a phone call on your behalf if they deem that to be necessary. Because, listen, a lawyer writing a letter means a lot more than you and I writing a letter. I never forget I had a creditor harassing me for $92. I didn't owe this particular company $92. Now, at that time in my life, I did owe some people money, but I didn't owe this particular company any money. And so I'm thinking, well, how do I prove this? I said, who else can I speak to? Who's your supervisor? You ever tried to do that before? And they all agree with each other, sadly. And so I said, I'm just going to call my lawyer. Now, a lot of times we say that, but we don't mean that. Call LegalShield, and LegalShield wrote a letter on my behalf to that company with all their letterhead going up and down. It said, you must cease and desist all contact with our client pursuant to the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act. Doesn't that sound good? Look, I would have never known to write that, but my lawyers did. And I'm telling you, I've used the service so much. I've been with LegalShield, by the way, for over 20 years. And so I've used it so often. I always think to myself, what if I didn't have this? Like, I would have swept that under the rug. I wouldn't have done anything about that. And I'm telling you, it's everyday issues. I'm not talking about people breaking the law. I'm talking about life events that happen to us all. But most of us don't even think about calling a lawyer. So it's not whether you use a lawyer, it's whether you needed to use a lawyer, but just didn't. They'll also review contracts and documents up to 15 pages. That saved me $10,500 on a real estate contract. IRS audit assistance, that helped me out when I was named in the audit. Here's my point. You don't just have access to a lawyer. I have friends that are lawyers. They just don't know every area of law, like every doctor doesn't know every area of medicine. So it's great to have law firms, not just a lawyer. So if you know lawyers, let them know about this too. I have friends that are lawyers that are in LegalShield because, again, their family members call them all the time asking legal questions they can't answer. Plus, they want them to do it for free. Civil trial defense, that's 60 hours of pretrial and trial time, in court time. It increases every year by 60 hours. So the second year, 120 hours. Next year, 180 hours. Fifth year, 300 hours. I've never even used all my 300 hours, but I'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, right? That would be tough at $300 an hour. I don't care how much money you make. No one wants to spend that kind of money for a lawyer. Family domestic services, this was a 90-day waiting period. So once you become a member for 90 days, now this is covered at 100%. Uncontested divorce, adoption, separation, and name change. The other benefits I just mentioned are covered right away. So as soon as you sign up. Emergency legal access, I've used that area not often, but I tell you, it's the peace of mind knowing I have it. It's like my kids, right? My kids are out of the house, all except one, my daughter, and because two are in college, one is out. And I think all the time, they're good kids, great kids. If you ever met my kids, you're really blessed. But they could be great kids at the right party, wrong crowd, wrong time. They don't have the right to call mom or dad while they're in school, right? If they're being questioned or detained or arrested. They don't have a right to call a pastor or to be disrespectful to law enforcement, but they do have a right to remain silent and a right to a lawyer. And if you live here in the States, what good is it having a constitution you have no access to at 2 a.m? And I can tell you story after story after story, but I won't do the time, how this has saved so many people heartache and pain with kids that were away at college, et cetera. And it just makes sense, right? So make sure it protects you and your family. Have this app on your phone right there on your homepage because you're just a tap away from having access to a lawyer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Traffic ticket assistance. Even when I got my speeding ticket out of state, my parents live in Virginia, about an hour and a half from where I am. I didn't have to call in. If I had a job, I didn't have to call in to work and say, I've got to take off. I got to go to traffic court, right? As a business, I wouldn't have to, sacrifice building my business because I had to go to traffic court. I talked to my lawyer in Maryland. He put me in touch with a lawyer in Virginia. They went out to go represent me. My points were dropped and my fine was dropped. I wasn't even there. I spent like $30 in court costs. And look, I would have spent more than $30 in gas to drive back to King George County, Virginia. But this is my point. It saved me time. It saved me money. My kids who've gotten speeding tickets, insurance is already high enough, auto insurance. Added my oldest son, it went up. Added my next son, it went up. Added my next son, it went up. Now my daughter's on my auto insurance, it went up. Here, they're all protected under one plan for one monthly fee for $25 a month. It makes sense. Listen, with the push of a button, you can actually start to get your last will and testament prepared. Living will, healthcare power of attorney, financial power of attorney. We all need one. I know we don't like to think about it because no one wants to think about death. But I promise you, death doesn't have an age attached to it. And it's smart to have a last will and testament. I've seen siblings no longer speak because there wasn't a will in place. And it's not about having a bunch of stuff. People are like, well, I don't have a lot to leave. Listen, I've seen siblings no longer speak because they thought one made the wrong decision over their mom because mom was connected to life support. And one said disconnected, she wouldn't want to live like that. And the other says, no, give her a chance, keep her connected. Because mom didn't have a living will to determine what she would want to have happen. Now the brother and sister no longer speak. And you all know stories like that. And I'm telling you, just don't do that to your kids. Don't do it to your parents. Don't do it to your siblings. Make sure you have your last will and testament done. Get that prepared with LegalShield at no cost. Already, that's a $500 or more value just by having our plan. Anything that falls outside of the 100% coverage, and there's even more things that I went over today. Again, this is an abbreviated version, but anything that falls outside of the 100% coverage, at minimum, you get a 25% preferred member discount. If you're like me, I like discounts on everything I do. That's why I shop at Costco's, right? I like a discount. So on pre-existing personal legal matters, DUI, bankruptcy, you're going to get a preferred member discount. And why not get a discount rather than pay full price? And if you ever paid for a lawyer for any of these services, you know what I'm talking about. Who's covered? As you can see there, the whole family's protected under one plan, which again is great. It's very different than most insurance type products. And this is an easy one. It's a no-brainer. Do you go to one lawyer who's charging $250 an hour, and it's more than that in the Washington, D.C. area, or get entire law firms across America for $24.95, for $25 a month, right? Look, I started this business when I was 28 years old. I just turned 50 last month, and I've never had anyone say, man, that's too much for a lawyer. I can't believe you're doing that. Never. The only thing I've had people say is, how can you do it for so little? That's a good question. It's not your dollar or my dollar a day, but you're talking about over 1 million people paying $1 a day. Now think about this. When you got $1 million a day coming into your company's revenues, imagine if you were making $1 million a day. You could attract the best law firms that money can buy. And it's called shared economy, right? Group buying power. And that's why this works so well for everybody. Lawyers, our clients, us, everybody wins. So here's our second app. We only have 2 apps. This one takes me 120 seconds to go over because it's the fastest growing crime. The media is doing all the advertising for us because identity theft is rampant. It's scary because it's not just financial anymore. It's tax return fraud, medical claims, social security claim, driver's license claim, right? And so with LegalShield, that's our second app, you have access to your credit score. We do monitoring for your entire digital DNA, social security number, passports, driver's license, dark web. We even do sex offender monitoring, social media monitoring, and we're going to alert you, send you a push notification, and more importantly, we'll do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity back to pre-theft status with an unlimited service guarantee. By the way, if you're an insurance broker, human resource director, a business owner, we can offer this as an employee benefit. It's our business solutions channel. And I have colleagues that earn 6 figures a year solely by doing that, right? And so if you know people in that space, it's a great opportunity. By the way, you probably already know there's 3 credit repositories, also known as credit bureaus. And sometimes different things show up on different ones. So for an additional $5 a month, we'll monitor all 3 for you, not just one. So who's covered again? The family's protected here under that one plan. And here's our price points. $49.90 a month for the family legal plan and LegalShield plan, and only $34.90 a month for the individual. Meaning you're not married, you don't have any dependents. And so here you have an opportunity to really benefit yourself and your family for $1 a day. But watch this. With member perks, you're going to save more money than you're actually paying for your legal plan and your identity theft plan. You have over 400 vendors that give you a discount, whether you're buying clothes, renting a car, staying at a hotel, or your cell phone, going to the gym, going to the movies. I save money when I go to the movies. I save money when I rent a car. I save money when I renew my Costco membership. I bought my wife a refrigerator, saved $300, right? So I love it. I get to save money all the time. I just saved money. I was in Florida renting a car 2 days ago, and I saved money on my rent. I love saving money, by the way. It's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep. So you're going to save more than you're actually paying for your legal plan and your identity theft plan. But make sure you remember to use your member perks right there on that same app that the person who invites you to watch this will share with you. Let's talk real quickly at the end of our presentation here, how we get paid, right? We get paid several different ways. I'll go through them real quickly for you. Our compensation plan is wonderful, right? And I love it because it is a compensation plan. One is unlimited income potential. That there's no bosses here. So you could be 18 years old in college and you get to study when you want to study and work when you want to work. It's like Uber, right? Turn it on when you want to, turn it off when you want to. You could be retired at 75 years old and you want extra money at 75, but you don't want an extra boss because you're retired, right? You want to spend time with your grandkids when you want to spend time with them. Or maybe like me, and I didn't see myself working at that particular job for the rest of my life, and I didn't want to retire at 55 or 65. I'd say, look, why don't I retire early? And I needed an exit strategy. Well, LegalShield happened to be that for me. So different. And look, some of you already making 6 figures and 7 figures. You just believe in multiple streams of income, or maybe you don't have any residual income. Let me share this with you real quickly. From $60 to $280, it really goes over $300 every single time someone says, yes, I want this membership. And so you listen differently once you hear about this because you can't unhear it. So when I was at the gym and the guy was complaining about his landscaper, he was like, man, I already paid my landscaper. He won't return my call. He didn't do the job he's supposed to do. I said, you got to call LegalShield. He said, what's that? I said, I'll tell you about it after we finish working out. I just sent them a link to the app. He looked at it. He's like, man, hold on. So you mean the lawyers will write a letter to my landscaper? I said, yeah. I said, I bet he'll respond to hearing from a lawyer. And by the way, he did because I talked to him at the gym weeks later. But here's my point. I made $300 at the gym, right? Because people always talk about what they need and the challenges they're dealing with. I just never had an answer for them. But now I do. And so do you now. And so that starts at $60 and it goes up to $120 and $140. So you get a few customers, $120. You get a few more customers, now you're making $140. Every single time someone says yes to the $49.90 plan, you're making $140. You get 10 customers, that's $1,400 that day, that week, that month. It's up to you. I wasn't making that at the mall, and I was working 60 hours a week. So I didn't care if 20 people had to go to my website for 2 to say yes. At that level, that was almost $300 that day, more than I made at the mall. So it's great part-time income, in some cases full-time income. And you can earn passive income for all those who are busy. This is going to be really attractive to you because busy people like getting paid while they're busy. They're just trying to figure out how to fit it all in. Watch passive income, right? If you've not been taught this. It's like real estate. A real estate broker has real estate agents. The agent sells the home. The broker still makes a percentage, right? That's passive income. Wealth 101. You can earn income when you're not working. A lot of people say things like, well, I don't have a lot of time. Oh, I know how much time you have, 24 hours in a day. But the key is, can you get paid off of 100 hours in that 24 hours or 1,000 hours, right? That's how passive income works. Let me explain. If you're a manager today and you had 140, but you're busy all week long, so you made 140 times zero because you didn't share the service with anybody. Darnell's on your team, I'm at $60 like you used to be. Well, whenever I make 60, you make the override difference, 20 plus 20, for $40. So every time I make 60, you make 40. Now, you didn't do anything yourself that week, but let's say I got 10 customers. That's $600 for me. 40 times my 10 customers you didn't know, $400 for you. And that's just one of me. What if you had 10 of me? That's $4,000 for you. See how now you're getting paid off for time you didn't have. But again, once I learned this, I thought, man, you mean the wealthy get wealthier because they've learned things that no one else is being taught. And if there was a class called How to Become Wealthy 101 in college, I would have taken that class. My friend Mike Humes, who delivered mail in Georgetown, the DC area, I introduced him to LegalShield. He made $1,000. LegalShield sent me $300. I wasn't mad. He made $10,000. LegalShield sent me $3,000. I'm like, go, Mike, go. So the person that introduced you to watch this, they don't care if you make more than that. When Mike Humes made $100,000, LegalShield sent me $30,000. Mike wasn't mad. He quit his job at the post office because he never made $100,000 running from dogs. But that year, LegalShield sent me $30,000 for work I didn't do. So I said, let me find 9 more people. So when 10 people on our team started making 6 figures, LegalShield sent us 30,000 times 10, 300,000. 20 people, 600,000. 30 people on our team, 900,000. So my wife and I earned a lot of income, not because we stepped on other people and kept them behind us, but because we lifted other people up, empowered them, and brought them with us. And isn't that the best way to earn income, with other people, not trying to hold each other back? And that's LegalShield. By the way, I mentioned residual income earlier. If you're not familiar with it, it means you do something one time and you keep getting paid over and over and over and over again. So when I quit my job at the mall, when I said I quit, I can't take it anymore, they quit paying me. Can you believe that? They have not sent me a check since I quit the mall. But that's most jobs, right? Whether you're a dentist, whether you're an engineer, most folks, if you stop working, you stop getting paid. Now, if you're an actor, it's different, right? Will Smith still gets paid from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, something he acted in years ago, but he's still getting paid because it still shows on TV. So that's the power behind residual income. Is for the life of that membership, you'll keep getting paid. So the work I did at 28, 29, 30, in my 40s, and now I'm 50, all that work. So over 90% of my income comes in now, whether I'm doing this presentation or not, whether I get up and work my LegalShield business or not, because it's all that passive residual, that book of business from my 20s, my 30s, and my 40s. God willing, you're here 5 years from now. It'll be nice to say I'm getting paid in 2025 for something I started in 2020. One-time investment to get started with LegalShield, $99. And sometimes I wish it was $900 because people would take it more seriously. $99. People are thinking, can it be real? Yes. You can start your own business for only $99. You're an independent LegalShield business owner. It's portable. It's willable. If you want to move to Toronto, Honolulu, doesn't matter. You can take your business with you. Tomorrow I'll be in Orlando, Florida. Guess what? My business will go with me because I have a cell phone. I can build my business right from my phone. Normally, you got to have your own website, video hosting, CRM tool. By the time you get your own business tools up and running, you spend about a couple of $100 a month in your expense column. More than that if you own a traditional business, I'm sure. But with LegalShield, we put it all under one umbrella called LegalShield Advantage. It's free the first month and then optional after, but I would say keep it. Why? How do you run a business on a website? I run everything, right? Look, I'm in Jamaica, right? I took my mom for her 80th birthday, and it said, hey, someone just watched the video, right? And it tells you in Seattle, Washington, this person watched the video. They watched 20% of it. So I can call them and say, look, I see you saw some of the video. And would you like most? They can't even say I watched all of it because it told me you only watched 20%. They can't even lie to you. Everything's tracked right through your app. I love it. Here's our proven track record. College students, GEDs, PhDs, business owners, anyone can succeed with LegalShield. I love that about LegalShield because we don't care about your past. We want someone who's concerned about their future and what they want to do with it. We have a bunch of rings. This is recognition. $50,000 ring goes all the way up to the $1 million ring. So $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 goes all the way up. You get 12 rings with LegalShield. I love it. Get a trophy case in your office. Like I have here in my office. And it's wonderful, right? Because you get to document your success and your journey. So here's the last slide, guys. Enroll as a member so that way you can use the service. Otherwise, you got to say, I heard, I think. The guy from Maryland who I didn't even know who talked really fast told me, but you never made it say, I know. So use the service yourself. This is the reason why, for me, I have so much belief, and as you probably tell, my posture and passion, because you can't talk me out of it. I've used the service so many times. It's helped my family out so many times. I know everyone needs it. I know everyone should have it. So it comes across that way. So use it yourself, please. Number 2, become an associate. Set up your own website. By the way, don't skip number 1. So if you want to become an associate, start LegalShield, still get your membership yourself. Because you don't want to say to people, you should get this. They say, well, do you have it? I mean, no, but you should. Right? It sounds a little disingenuous. So make sure you still get the service even though you're becoming an associate as well. Set up your website, get trained so we can show you the best practices, things that work, things that don't work. We're going to share everything with you. And that's what I love about LegalShield. You have mentors, you have coaches that'll walk you through your success. And I'm telling you, that was one of the most gratifying things and refreshing things, because I thought, man, can I do this? But once I realized there were people willing to share with me what they did right and what they did wrong, I thought, of course, I could do this. Get paid and promoted. There's $800 of bonuses on the table right now, extra on top of everything I just mentioned. And we've got a lot of great things happening with LegalShield right now. In fact, no matter what city you're calling in from right now or watching this from, there's a big event happening tomorrow. That's why I'm going to Orlando. So find out if there's something happening in your city tomorrow or near you. And I would recommend you get out there and learn from some of the best. So whether you're, Charlotte or LA or Houston, find out, hey, is anything happening in my area? Get out. And that way you get to see this information live as well. Plus tomorrow night, we're going to do one more presentation like this at 9 p.m. East Coast time. And so you can invite someone back on to watch this information. You already have your website set up by then. And so someone can actually join your website. Now you're getting paid. You're earning while you're learning. Hey guys, so listen, I appreciate the opportunity to share this information with you here this Friday evening. Thanks for taking time out. Someone did this for me, didn't have to. So I'm always willing to give back. No matter how much money I make, I'll always give back. I was in my prayer life. I said, man, if I can have success, God, I promise I'll never get tired of giving back. I'll always remember where I've come from. And so I'm very thankful and grateful that someone did this for me. And so hopefully as you have your success, you'll continue to give back to others as well. Hey, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. And congratulations. Welcome to LegalShield. Welcome to the LegalShield family. Bye-bye.